Are you anxious and stressed right now over life's uncertainties, over not having control over your life? If this is so, I get it. You are not alone. We are in this together. But you're going to have to fight. Have you forgotten how to fight? Today's fight depends on yesterday's wins. When I was 16 years of age, I had a chemistry teacher by the name of Mrs. Bryant who taught me chemistry in the technical stream of classes in grade 10. The only reason why I ended up in that stream of classes was my father told me to be practical. He said I couldn't pursue my dreams of becoming a commercial pilot because that was for white men only. My father was just trying to protect me from a future heartbreak. So I obeyed him until I figured out how to overcome him as a resistance to my dreams. That was the first time my dreams were put on the line. At 16 years of age, I was strong. I was decisive. I knew no limits. What were you like at 16 as a teenager? You were a badass, right? After one semester of being practical, I felt like a fish out of water. I hated it. That's when I realized that I had to pursue my dreams in order to be happy. So I made a commitment to myself. I picked up my dreams without telling my father. In order to pursue flying in college, I needed to get into the straight science stream of classes where people thought you were smart. That class was also taught and managed by Mrs. Bryant. The spring semester in grade 10 was your final chance to switch your concentration. So, returning from the Easter break on day 1, I showed up to my new class, eager to learn and confident, that I'm definitely gonna pursue my dreams right now without a hitch. Life never really works out that way, does it? I showed up to my new class, and there she was, Mrs. Bryan. When she saw me, she asked, "Ruddock, what are you doing in my class?" I said, "I'm here now, miss." So she said to me, "Ruddock, in order to be in this class, you've got to go down to the guidance counselor's office to get the proper transfer form completed and signed by the guidance counselor." So I hurried down to the guidance counselor's office and she signed the document, handed it to me, and I sprinted back upstairs to my class. And I handed it to Mrs. Bryant. She took the transfer form and she glanced at it. Then she looked into my big brown eyes. With a 3/4 policeman's smile, Mrs. Bryant said to me, "Ruddock, can't have you in my class." Without explanation. When she said this to me, I remembered my whys. I remembered that my parents couldn't afford to feed me, to clothe me, to pay my tuition. So my Aunt Cherry stood in the gap for them. And she was expecting a win from me for the family. In that moment, Mrs. Bryant declared war not on me, but on my family, something bigger than myself. So every day I showed up to class. Every day Mrs. Bryant chased me out. "Ruddock, I can't have you in my class." While everyone else was sitting down, taking notes and learning chemistry, I was standing right at the doorpost, just far enough into the class to see the blackboard and to hear Mrs. Bryant teach chemistry. I remember having my blue binder in my hands open and white lined pages. I was taking notes, standing up, learning chemistry, but most of all paying the price for my dreams. And we did this dance until one day I found the courage to take a seat amongst my peers, and Mrs. Bryant never threw me out anymore. Shortly after this, the O-levels mock examination came around. The O-levels is an examination you take to go from high school to college. And after the result came out, Mrs. Bryant pulled me to the side and she said, "Ruddock, Do you see what hard work could do? Pointing out to me that I got the second highest grade in the entire class, standing up. That was the first time Mrs. Bryant paid me attention. After this, the real O-levels examination came around in the summer. We took our examination, we graduated and left school. The results came back in the fall, so September. I went back to the school to see Mrs. Bryant to get my results. So I'm standing there as she's filing through the list of names, to get me my results. When she found my name and saw the grade on it, her face, there was a transformed look on her face that says, "We have a winner here, and I was a partner in this win." When she handed me the printout with my grade on it, she looked into my eyes and she said this. She said, "Ruddock, though you thought I was fighting against you, I'm really pleased to see that you buckled down." That means get serious in Jamaica. That you buckled down and you passed your subject. I felt like we both won. There was no animosity between us. And I got it. And it wasn't about Mrs. Bryant. Mrs. Bryant never believed that I belonged amongst this smart group, given where I was coming from. And it wasn't her fault. As my father would say, the system, Darren. I saw the thing set up. It's the system. I went on to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University after that, shortly after that. Mrs. Bryant represents the struggles you're going through, the struggles you're going to go through, the heights you want to ascend to, where there are blockers saying, "No, not you," because of your race, because of your age, because of your gender, etc. It's not for you to get emotional and quit. It's for you to prove, yes, me too. It's time to fight. Get back that fight. Today's fight depends on yesterday's wins, and tomorrow's wins depend on today's fight. Somewhere down there is a reservoir of wins that you must tap into, you must access. You must remember what it felt like to win. You must remember who was there. You must remember what was the occasion, what was the fight. And you must remember what you did to win. When you were younger, you were bold, you were fearless, you were unstoppable. Now you're older, you're fearful, you're cautious, you second guess yourself. It's time to activate the fight in you. To activate the fight in you, you need the right skills for the times. You need mental skills. As humans, we have the mental elasticity to frame our struggles either as partner in our becoming great or as a threat to our survival. If we frame our struggles as partner in our becoming great, then immediately we will transmute the anxiety and stress we feel into something more tolerable. You might even find this journey, this struggle, joyful. But if you frame your struggles as a threat to your survival, then it's going to disable you. And you can't afford for that to happen because your mother, your father, you're a leader. You're working on the front line where people need you to survive. We need you. You can't afford to frame your struggles in any other way than as a partner in your becoming great. Every event in life is a teacher of a class called resilience, the number one skill of the 21st century. It gets you ready to make use of the opportunities that come with your struggles. It's a blessing. Remember this, we are in a fight. You're in a fight, not of fists, not of might, but a fight of minds, where relaxation is required to win, where breathing is required to win, where letting go and letting God is required to win, where knowing why you're here, your purpose is required to win. So when something is happening in your life, when there's a struggle, when you're facing a struggle, just ask yourself, what's the lesson here? You'll find out. Appreciate the fact that you were chosen to be alive at this time, to go through this struggle at this time, because of the impact you're going to make in someone's life somewhere down the line with your story of resilience. So relax in this fight. Relax in this struggle. Focus on the fact that when this is all over, we're getting stronger. You're going to be unstoppable. We are getting stronger together. Remember this, the things that used to stop you before will not be stopping you after this struggle. This is resilience and is preparing you for the next thing. See you at the finish line.